and welcome to Homestead Diary. This is Amber, and I just wanted to go over something that was an unexpected surprise for us, which was a benefit. Is we bought straw, and we do straw, and then soil, and then sawdust, and then biochar, and then sand, or whatever we can find. Leaf litter, I mean, whatever you can handle. You know, leaf litter is a little bit harder because then there's ticks and chiggers that you have to deal with, but it is a possibility. So anyways, in this bed, as you can see, I used straw as a base layer. That actually helps with taking up some of the depth, but it also helps with moisture. And as we talked about before, I put plastic down in order to maintain more moisture because I don't want to waste my water. But what is happening is the actual wheat berries are germinating. So you can see in here, if you go into the straw layer and you pull it a little bit, then that is, we see, a wheat leaf, flower, and then this is the actual wheat berry. And so I'm actually taking out the wheat berries here and collecting them without disturbing the soil too much, because we have other things growing in this bed. But I'll be able to pull out a lot of these wheat berries, and then I can transplant these wheat berries into another bed, potentially, so that it doesn't disturb my other plants, or I can actually transplant it then outside. So I have a bunch of wheat berries here. I actually found them because when I was doing my corn, as you can see here, I'm transplanting my corn now outside. Even though I have older corn already growing that's maybe 2 feet high, I'm just continuing to germinate. And now this is basically maybe a fourth or less, a fifth, maybe 20% of my ear of corn, where I did 1 ear of corn in this bed, and it was full, and just with straw and sawdust. So basically very little cost, maybe $1 or something like that. I was able to take 1 ear of corn and make probably 2,000 maybe plants, and I've already planted 1,500 or whatever, and this is like another 500 plants, or maybe a little bit less, but a lot of plants for just 1 ear of corn. Now if I find the bag, I was told by our local feed store that these don't have a guaranteed germination rate, because all they are is ear corn from Bickler Farms, Pocahontas, Missouri. So anyways, this is just like dent corn. So you can literally make maize flour with this. You could potentially pop it for popcorn, and you can grow it. So, what I got for $7 was a literally full bag. And yeah, some of it might be eaten by the mice. Doesn't have any herbicide or pesticide on the actual corn kernel in order to grow it. But when I was transferring this, anyway, we know that it's local. We know that it's best suited for this environment, which is one of the best parts of this. But I just took 1 ear, made all of that corn, and while I was moving it around, I noticed that there's all these little tiny stalks shooting up, and I was like, what is that? What are those little tiny stalks that I didn't even know what it was, and find out that it was wheat berries that are germinating inside the straw, from the straw. So just be ready to not pick everything as a weed, or maybe that looks like grass, but it might not be grass. So just be aware before you pick it. It might be something that's super beneficial. We just found out that we had velvetier, which can be considered invasive, and it does produce a lot of seeds, and they last in the soil for 50 years. And so they're not necessarily the best thing to propagate, but they're super beneficial, and they started popping up in my garden. And rather than just ripping them out, I looked them up, and they have so many different beneficial properties. So look up velvetier, and it's one of the most beneficial plants that I have noticed around this area as a weed. So just don't pick your weeds, look them up, figure out what medicinal use they have, and yeah, then they won't be a weed anymore. So thank you, have a blessed day.